Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Create Games. This is part 5, and this is about online editing your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into the web browser and not in an offline editor. In the last episode, we created a small JavaScript calculator by editing this text file, page all-in-one HTML, in our brackets to text editor, which is one of various choices that you can do. And we put together the HTML together with the JavaScript and the CSS. Today I'm going to show you how you can do all of this in the web browser. You don't need an editor like that, a so-called offline editor, an editor that works on your hard disk. You can do all of this in the web too. So let me introduce jsFiddle. jsFiddle is a web service that provides this interface with prominent little windows called HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and result. And let's jump right into things by copying the code from our example into these windows. We don't need the body tags, we just need what's inside of them. The JavaScript part is this. Again, we don't need the script tags. And the CSS without the style tags. Let me reformat this with a Shift tab, by the way. So, as always, we want to see the JavaScript console in case any errors happen. So we need to hit run. And voila, here's our web page. And let's enter some values to see if it works. And it does not. The error message is doCalc is not defined. Whenever things like these happen, usually it is that JavaScript is not loaded in the right order. We can change that by simply choosing this option. And if we hit run again and maybe clear the console and we enter 2 values, then everything works fine. So by filling the HTML, JavaScript, and CSS windows, we get this result over here, and we got this by hitting run. And the next thing we want to do is to save that. I'm already logged in to jsFiddle, and I can hit save. But first of all, I want to give this thing a name. Let's just say testFiddle. Oh, and this is a test description. And now if I hit save, I see that the URL changes to my nickname over here and some random characters and numbers. And this is because jsFiddle saved this file for me, and I can see it in my dashboard. And having said that, to follow these tutorials, you don't need to log in or sign up to any of these web services. You can do this, of course, but to follow this, you just need the URL like that. And I can simply open, that's the nice part of it, I can open another browser, for example. I do this because I'm logged in, obviously, in Chrome, and I want to show you on a different browser where I'm not logged in, that you see, I'm not logged in here. I still can see the example, and it's still working. So that's very nice about jsFiddle, and I can simply add these links to the YouTube description field, and you can follow all of these examples by clicking the links. Having said that, there are various other web services who work like jsFiddle, and they have all their advantages and some disadvantages too. And it depends on what you like more. Namely, the prominent ones are CodePen, which has things like previews of the so-called pens, and it works exactly like that with a twist. You have HTML here, CSS here, and JavaScript there, and the result window over there. So we could use this also. And I should use probably jsBin, because jsBin is truly open source. You can get the source code from the great author. And we stick with jsFiddle for the moment, because we need a library which is not in here yet. Nobody's fault, it's just that I prefer for the moment jsFiddle. So let me highlight a couple of features that jsFiddle and the likes have. One of them is version control, which is very nice. If I change something in these windows over here, let's say I change the background color to red, and I hit run again, then okay, great, the background color is red, and I can now the save button change to update, and if I hit update, then you see that jsFiddle adds a number, which is 1. So we went from 0 to 1 with this version. It still has the same URL, but now jsFiddle holds two versions of the same code. One, the light gray variant and the red variant. So if I were to change this again, let's say to gray, and I hit update, then accordingly the version number steps 1 up, and we can go back and forth to the various versions. But if we say, okay, this is the one that I really like, so I change this back to light gray again, and I hit update, then I can say, okay, this is the base version, and I'd like to start all over from this one, so I say set a space, and the new code is the base versions without a version number. The second thing, which is very nice, is that you can say, well, sometimes you just want to show the result. So if you want to do that, you can take this URL, and I open another window, and I add show to the end, show to the end of the URL, and you see this window is exactly the result window over here, but without the editing stuff. So if you want to just show off your results in somewhere, then you can just add a show to the URL, and you're good to go. And you might have guessed it already. The thing is that if I do all these examples and tutorials in jsFiddle or a similar service, then I can add these URLs to the description field of the YouTube videos, and you can follow along the examples without logging in somewhere, just by hitting the URL and watching the examples, and probably you want to change these examples at some time. And the only thing you need to do then is, if you want to follow these examples, you just look at the code. But if you want to change something on your own, then you can fork into a new fiddle, as it says here. And if I hit that, I get another URL. And if I would have done this with another account, the username would change, or there wouldn't be a username at all, because you don't need to log in to do that. But once you do that, this copy is a total different version from the other copy. So you don't change my code with that. You get a fork. A fork is a copy in your own account or in your own anonymous account. So you could do changes on this code with your very own copy by forking it. So from now on, all the Let's Create Games tutorials will have jsFiddle URLs in the description, so that you can follow along these examples. And that's one of the reasons why online editing is important and fun to do. So thanks for watching, and we're going to jump into drawing things in the next tutorial. So thanks for watching. See ya.